happy and we're singing and we're coloring.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro here with my brothers from some other mothers. My guy George Carmi and my guy Big Game James. I was gonna say, but George, Big Game George, and my guy James. We back with another one, man. We told you we would be back this week, so we're gonna again kind of go through the mock draft process because we know you guys enjoy that. But we're also going to be talking about some free agency, talking about some of the visits, talk about what's going on in the NFC East. But before we get into that, James, George, how y'all doing, man? How y'all feeling today?
Me just good. You know, had a couple shows earlier today. My guy Jaja Brink said I've been working overtime today for sure. This will be the third show today. So, but it's cool. I got to meet or talk to one of the content creators. His name is Lou Takes. I don't know if y'all have met him. I don't know if you met him in particular, Joe. You definitely should. He's a good guy in the Cowboys community. He's one of those guys that I don't think he's going to have that bias. I think he's real straight across the board, and he was a former offensive lineman, actually played offensive line in college. Very knowledgeable, great show. So that was a good thing, and it's good to definitely talk some offensive line because you definitely want to know some things if you don't know.
Yeah, man, I'm doing well here. Just getting into March Madness. I'm a Maryland guy, so I don't know if you guys are catching all this, but like our coach got fired, going to Villanova, a lot of drama going on there. But to try to enjoy it, man, it's been fun. It's a good March. You know, draft season right now. It's the best time of year. So can't complain.
Yeah, I'm a UConn fan, and we got taken out by Florida. So I live in Florida, so now I'm a Florida fan. So let's go, Florida. Let's go do something, Gators. Yeah, it's been an interesting. I think this is one of the weirdest NCAA tournaments I can remember. It's just been all over the place. It's not, you know, I don't know. It's a really weird NCAA year this year. I didn't really keep up too much. I'm gonna be honest with you. This year I fell off a little bit, but UConn stunk a little bit, so it kind of made sense for me. But yeah, you guys made a little run, didn't you guys make it to like the
Sweet 16? Yep.
Yeah, that's not bad, man. That's not bad. So look, we're gonna get into the draft because last time we literally took till I think it took an hour and a half for us to finish it. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. You know what I'm saying? We all do kind of have lives a little bit, maybe a little bit. But while we do that, we are going to be, like I said, kind of talking about what's going on in the NFC East. We're going to go through these comments. Last time, I know I wasn't the best at going through the comments. I'm going to try and be a little bit better. I promise you guys. Don't kill me in the comments. All right. So we're going to be picking Philly. We're going to be picking Dallas. And we're going to be picking Washington. See if they change their name by the time.
Got jokes. Okay.
Is there any talk about that still? Because I remember that was like a thing, and then it's just not a thing anymore. Or
nah, it's funny. We basically have like two different types of fans in our fan base, right? We have like the newer generation that's kind of like looking forward. It's like, you know, keep it moving. We're become Commander fans. We're doing what we gotta do. And there's the older generation that was around during the 80s and 90s. That like they want to go back to Redskins. They think it's actually going to happen, but. You know, what's his face? Josh Harris, our owner, just said, you know what? You know, Commanders are our identity now. We had a good year on that. We're going to keep it moving. But I don't know if you guys heard us in like, you know, Dallas and Philadelphia land. They might be tweaking our jerseys this year. It's kind of cool. I'm
really
looking forward to that. Yeah, I think they're going to be like there's a big movement to kind of go back retro a little bit, having those burgundy and gold stripes, kind of going back to our old uniform. So curious about that. See what's up.
All right. So we got Dallas up first. James, you going to take it. Before we get into the actual pick, you obviously have some good trade offers as always, because I never get good trade offers. But talk to us about Dallas this year. I feel like we're on opposite ends. Last year it was like you guys didn't really do anything in free agency. We were going crazy. Feel like roles have reversed a little bit. Talk to me about your free agency. Kind of what's your mindset going into this draft?
Well, I'm not going to say we went crazy. They picked up 20 free agents. They did it quicker than normal. It's still kind of the same thing, the way they picked up the free agents and the guys who they signed. So still a lot of holes, really, for real. If you look at the draft, there's still a lot of needs to be met. And that's the problem when you go in a draft and you feel like you got a draft for need, you tend to miss, it seems like, when you try to do that. So hopefully they'll still add some more things. Like I said, we got Solomon Thomas on the defensive tackle position. We re-signed Osa. That's a guy who we needed to keep, in my opinion. It was a team-friendly deal for real. You know, you got Kenneth Murray, linebacker, got Jack Sanborn, who's pretty decent, was over there at Chicago. So touch the linebacker position, but you still really need to address the defensive tackle big time in my opinion. Right guard is something that you have to look at because Zach Martin retired. Receiver, the number 2 receiver, you definitely need one because CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you needed 2 guys now, and you only got one. You just got a bunch of guys you don't know about. And cornerback you got to touch a cornerback because Trevin Diggs is hurt. He's still on the mend. You don't know what's going on with Bland. Is he going to get signed, re-signed? What kinds of money going to sign for? And you don't really have depth behind it because Jordan Lewis left in free agency to Jacksonville. So there's things that really need to be touched. Running back, you heard my guy in there say you better not pass up Genty. I'm passing them up. I don't care what y'all say. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
I just had to talk with my guy Lou, and everybody's telling me he's all world, best draft, best prospect in the last 10, 20 years. Okay, that's great. But I bet you if you did pass on him, you wouldn't regret it. I don't think you would because you can still get a good back. And like I told them, when Dallas lost their playoff games where they could have advanced to a championship game, it was defense that gave it up, not because they couldn't run the ball. They got behind early and they couldn't run the ball. They had to pass both times. So where that running back come in place, you can find a running back in this draft that doesn't have to be that. You don't have to reach for it because you have other things you need to tap up. And those are things I kind of spoke about.
Word. Yeah. And quickly before we do get in, I just got one last question. Does any of the moves that happen change your philosophy going into the draft? Like, was there a certain position group you wanted in the first round? Now you're kind of like, we can wait if we have to. Like, does it change how you feel about this draft at all, positionally?
No, you still have to address things because, like I said, you got a defensive tackle, but you don't have like a guy that really can stop the run. The guys that you brought back are really not run stoppers. Those guys can rush the pass. Those are the guys that can get in the backfield. When you address the linebacker position, these are 1-year deals. These aren't guys that are staying beyond. So these are like prove it deals. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't really see where it alters anything unless you really address it. Like I said, Calais Campbell, I've been saying it. Calais Campbell's out there still. He played for Miami last year for $2 million on a 1-year deal. You can't sign that. That's cheap for Dallas. And then you got enough money where it's open where you can get a receiver. And we've been talking about Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, those type of guys that can definitely help CeeDee Lamb right now, and you can still get a receiver. So it hasn't changed anything, in my opinion, of how they want to draft. It's just, like I said, these trades and things of that nature, what's really going to happen because you don't have a 4th-round pick as of now. You have 3, so it makes it real critical that you draft the right 3 guys.
Yeah, I know Dallas Nation is tired of hearing me talk, so I'll let you get into the draft. You do have 3 trade offers. You let me know what you want to do?
If that wasn't all the way to 35, that's a 1st and a 2nd.
That's nice.
That is.
That's hard to pass up. A 1st and a 2nd.
That's nice as well. I'm not gonna lie.
That's good right there. I don't have to give up a pick, right?
You would just have to give up 149.
Oh, I see. That's what I have to remember.
Yeah, because last time
don't forget.
They got me last time.
Yeah.
What's pick 149?
That's the best one right there. The Chargers right there. That's a good.
That
one.
One's really
I know.
nice.
I seen
that
that
one. That's a good
and
one.
I don't have to give up nothing.
Pick 149, if I'm not mistaken, is like
a 4th-round pick, right?
4th or 5th, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's up there. I guess, James, my question to you while you think about this, is it more important for the Cowboys to hit on with the 12th overall pick, you'd assume maybe 2 quarterbacks go in the top 10. You're probably going to top 10 talent with that 12th overall selection. Do you want to get a top 10 talent and kind of raise the level of the Cowboys? Or are you looking to kind of, you think there's a lot of needs on the roster, you want to spread it out a little bit?
I want to spread it out because this is a meat and potatoes type draft. We were just talking earlier today, me and Lou. This is more of a meat and potatoes. It's not one of those drafts in the first round. You like some wow guys. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is a wow guy top draft, but when you really start hitting in that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round, you're going to get a lot of quality players. That's why I said go with that trade back, get up picks so you can really scoop up a lot of good quality players in this draft and really build up your team very quickly through this draft by multiple picks, because this is the type of draft you can get a lot of picks and you can get a lot of quality in this draft, and it can really help your team instantly. And that's why I keep on filling trade back, especially if you don't have your guy you really, really want. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and take that chart. We'll go ahead. That last one was showing. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and take that Chargers because only 22. I get other mother, and I ain't giving up nothing.
Yeah, it's a
you
first, second, and third pick, man. It's a 1, 2, and 3 for it's the one.
Damn, they was
Yeah.
desperate. Wonder what they would do. Wonder what they doing.
Yeah.
That kind of feels realistic too. That doesn't feel like a big stretch. Yeah, quick question. I will obviously accept it for you, but Shedeur Sanders and Tyler Warren were both on the board. I've been seeing some of your fans like saying that maybe those two names are names that they would be interested in. Do you see that at all?
Shedeur Sanders, no. Why? Because if it's going to be, I mean, honestly, if they do a quarterback in the first 3 picks, I'm going to be mad as hell. Like, I'm going to be really mad that they do that. Because you already signed Dak. Like, what's the purpose of doing that when you got too many other things you got to deal with, and you would get a quarterback that would make no sense? And I don't feel like a Sanders is dropping that far. You feel me? And even in the second round, I'm not doing that. I don't care what Sanders is. I think Sanders is going to be good, but I don't know, if he's going to be that franchise guy. I still have to see that, even though I do like him. So he's not on my radar with that. And who else did you say that tight end, Tyler Warren?
Yeah. Yeah, Tyler
People
Warren.
talking to he nice. I mean, he nice.
He's not who you need, though. Go back. I want to take a
I
look.
just don't see that. If you do that, that would be a head scratcher, and I'd just be like, why?
Who'd they take at 12? That's what I'm curious about. They took Jalen Walker. That's not even that great of a pick. Tyler Warren was there. Malachi Starks, I like him too. I mean, Ted McMillan, I think would be like. I think you guys tell me if I'm wrong, James. If I was the Cowboys, I'd be looking at Ted McMillan as a compliment to Cooper. CeeDee Lamb, and then maybe Genty, like if he's even there, or Marion Hampton. I don't know.
I mean, they would. I don't see anything. A lot of people are on McMillan. They're hoping he falls, especially after they seen the interview where he said he don't study film, he don't care about it. So he could be falling just on the video. You know what I mean? But we definitely need that a player with that caliber. Genty, that's cool. Like I said, I ain't gonna be mad if you did that, but I wouldn't want to run it back in the first round when I feel like there's so many other you can get and still help out your team. I don't feel like you're gonna be like, oh my God, we should have never did that. So those guys can help instantly, but once again, you see me trading back. Once it kind of got in my head, I'm like at it. So I'm hoping Genty gets scooped by the Raiders. I'm hoping McMillan gets scooped by somebody, and we can trade back and gather up picks and really get some stuff that you can really add to this team. Because they got 3 5ths, they got 2 6s and 2 7s.
Mm-hmm.
So we can really get into more another second and add a 4th. I'm with that.
Yeah. Well, you're back on the board. A couple more trade offers.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go ahead and stay where I'm at.
You gonna stay where you at?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Yeah, the last one sucks anyway. So. All right, so you're back on the board. Still some really good names on the board.
Oh,
really
I see here. Wait, we had the same thing that happened to me last time. Ooh. Now here's the issue right here. I got Tyler Booker right there.
So you're looking at O-line.
Because he's my guy talked me into that today because he's an old lineman. Zach Martin retired. If you had him, you solidify that offensive line right there.
Mm-hmm.
We got added picks right here too. I wonder if I could gamble and get this big lineman right here, still get me a D lineman and a receiver. Ooh, should I take this chance?
Your next pick would be at 44. So 20 spots. I mean, that's not terrible.
Ooh, that's not terrible. That's far though. Ooh. Ooh, I feel like because if I don't get them now, if I don't get one of them receivers now, they're gonna be gone.
It's up to you. They're saying what I've heard is that there's going to be 10 wide receivers taken on day 2. So that's round 2 and 3. So round 1, you might be able to kind of let it slide a tiny bit, but then in round 2 and 3, they're going to fly off the boards. It's up to you, whatever you think. You know, if Frederick said Ibuka's on the board, he's a solid wide receiver for sure. Burden's on there. And there's some good wide receiver, Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins. The wide receivers are pretty deep in my opinion. Like I think, yeah, they're kind of high end with Ibuka and Burden. Those are nice picks. It's up to you.
Even Loveland would make some sense.
Absolutely. Loveland's a dog. You're on the clock. You know, you got to pull the trigger soon, though, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Doom, 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 doom.
Exactly.
I got to get the sound.
Yeah, the old alarm.
I'm going to go Booker.
I like it. That's where you win, is in the trenches. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely.
Washington now on the board. You have a couple of trade offers. Talk to me about y'all off season, just kind of what you're thinking, what they've done, what they haven't done that maybe adds to what you're going to do in this draft. I drew a blank for a second.
No, you're good. So what I like about Adam Peters was a GM from the 49ers, and he's been a scout in his entire career. He basically was a scout prior to becoming he was actually an assistant GM for the Broncos before becoming a GM for the 49ers. He selected George Kittle. He selected Dre Greenlaw. He selected Brock Purdy. He was part of all that camp and put it all together. So in regard to the talent that he put together, we're very confident here in DC. But what I liked about him is there's that old adage where you fill holes in free agency and you add talent in the draft. And what I liked about him is going into the draft, I think he did fill a lot of holes where there really isn't a lot of big gaps in Washington. If there's going to be one side that's better than the other, I'd say our offense is better than our defense. Like I think our offense is pretty well built, while I think our defense has some depth holes. But I think that that's the draft. I think he's intentional with it because our biggest need is edge. There's a strong edge class. I think that's what he did. In regard to what he did during the offseason, just kind of quick recaps. I don't know how fulfilled, how much you guys pay attention to the Commanders, but they traded for Laramie Tunsil. That was one of the biggest trades of the offseason. We got him as our left tackle now, 5-time Pro Bowler, 30 years old. Still got a couple more years on him left. I'm pumped about that. They bumped Brennan Coleman inside, and our offensive line is probably our second best position group. We have Tunsil, Coleman, Biotish in our middle. Sam Cosby's a Pro Bowler. We have 4 offensive linemen that are pretty much solidified moving forward. So maybe a right tackle or a guard could be on our radar, but it's not a huge radar. We picked up Deebo Samuel, so we have another wide receiver that's going to complement Terry McLaurin. People are saying that Deebo's a little bit washed. I think he might not have the step that people would think he does, but I think he's going to fit into our offense really well because then people criticize Jaden by saying we kind of run like a college offense where it's like a bunch of screens and tunnel screens and, kind of short, quick slants. That's exactly what Deebo does. He's going to fit right into our offense coming out of the backfield, so I like that. A couple other notable. We added Javon Kinlaw. We let Jonathan Allen walk. I know James wanted Jonathan Allen, but he went to the Vikings. So we added Javon Kinlaw. He's a solid player. I think we got him. We got Dedrick Wise, who's a solid player from the Patriots. We got Jonathan Jones, another solid player from the Patriots, and Will Harris, a solid player from the Saints. And all those guys have 1-year deals. So they're pretty much like, they're going to either hit and be starting players for us, maybe potentially get a long-term contract, or we can flip them next year and not worry about it. So there's a lot of flexibility for us. The only 2 people that actually, that were concerned about that left, Jeremy Chin left. He went to the Raiders. So definitely safety is on my radar. Like that's something we could definitely improve on. And Dante Fowler went back to the Cowboys. He's our leading sack getter. And now he's back on Dallas. And I guess I'll ask you, James, we don't talk that often, once a week or whatever. How do you feel about Dante Fowler? Are you happy to have him back, or what are your thoughts on him?
Love that pickup. I'm glad you reminded me because I totally slipped my head. So I'm glad you brought that back up. But yes, love that pickup. I didn't want him to leave the first time, but I knew why he left, and I knew what PQ was going to do. But he just proved his worth again. 10.5 sacks. He's a sack master. That's all you can really say about him. He gets sacks anywhere he really goes, and he gets enough significant time on the field. He's going to get you sacks. He's going to get in that backfield, and that's what we need right now, especially with you have a unknown with Sam Williams. This is kind of coming around his contract year, but he hasn't really shown it on the field. He has all the talent in the world, but he hasn't been able to do it. Had the injuries, had some injuries here and there. There's been some things up top as well. So now it's really his turn, but you don't know what you have. So this is a what you call a great insurance policy right now that you can start out with, and let's see what Sam Williams does, and then you have Marshawn Nealon. But I love the signing. It's almost like he had a home here in Dallas. We all wanted to keep him here. And what's crazy was we actually had talked about re-signing him before he got signed. A week before he got signed, we were saying, bring Dante Fowler back, bring him back on the show, the final word, and then he got signed that weekend. So I love the sign.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, basically, I don't know if I'm sure you know this, but he followed Dan Quinn from the Falcons to the Cowboys to the Commanders, and we thought he was going to stick around and stay with us for one more year. But I think the Commanders had like a solid. They're like, we're going to pay you whatever, $6-8 million was going to be our high ceiling for what we're going to pay you. I think the Cowboys paid a little bit more. We liked Fowler, but the knock with Fowler was that he's a great pass rusher, but he couldn't set the edge. And basically, in a division where we play Saquon Barkley, and we have what's his name from the Giants running back, who's the rookie. I forget his name now. Whatever. He has to have a pretty good run game over there in the NFC East. I think we kind of wanted to change it up a little bit, so we're kind of focusing on stopping the run. So I don't know. I think, and it's also a big edge class, so we'll see. Joe, I'll jump on the board. So let me see who this. There's a 49ers. What's the other trade offer? Just kind of double check. Pick 30 and 109. So I move back one spot, and basically I move up into the 4th round pick. I think I'll probably do that. But let me just look at the boards just in case.
I think I know who they're going to take, and it's going to piss me off because
So looking at the board, my thought process, I like Jihad Campbell. So I don't know if you guys know this, and the viewers know this as well. He was the number 1 rated edge rusher in high school. All the way, he was the number 1 edge prospect, 5-star coming into Alabama. But they had Will Anderson and they had Dallas Turner in Alabama. So instead of him being an edge rusher, he ended up becoming an off-the-ball linebacker. And I love him, actually. I think he'd be a pretty interesting pick. We have Bobby Wagner as a pretty solid linebacker, but it'd be kind of nice to have Jihad, who could be like our, maybe our, Micah Parsons Light. You kind of bounce him around a little bit and see where he goes with things. That'd be kind of interesting there. Emeka Egbuka, I think I'm interested in him. He's a high value wide receiver. I would love to have him there. There's some good players. Siobhan Revel, I see you guys like him. Marion Hampton like him as well. Mike Green, for me personally, just doing the whole draft prospects, he's ridiculous. I'm sure you guys are watching. I think he's the fastest step off the edge. He's that speed rusher that we need. But maybe just for variety, I might try something different because I got Mike Green last time. So what I think I'm going to do is let's do that trade with the Bills. We'll do that because my hope is that I could I'm going to take the best player available, and I guess my opinion will be Emeka Egbuka. Let's see if the Bills take him.
Oh,
Campbell. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Good or not, I don't want to trade it. Let me see what's the other one just in case. Another threat. I mean, realistically, I would take that one, but I'm not going to do that now. And then those are all great ones, but I'll reject it. So what I'm going to do, just for fun, I could take Mike Green, but I think Emeka Egbuka would be interesting. I'm going to take him. I think what would happen, he would be a perfect fit for what we do, right? We have Terry McLaurin, who catches it over the middle as that deep threat. We have Deebo Samuel, is kind of more of like a trick, more of like a gadget type of player. And Emeka Egbuka is just like solid all-around legit wide receiver. And I talked about it last time. You can draft him. He basically he has the most amount of catches for all of Ohio State history. So it's ridiculous. So definitely, and that's going to help out Jaden Daniels as he kind of works in the year to kind of develop himself a little bit.
I hate Ohio State, but they always produce pretty solid
wide receivers. Olave, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin, they just pump them out.
Hate it.
I
got to see him for 3-4 years going against Penn State. I hate it. Quickly with the Eagles, man. I mean, obviously, we're picking at number 32 because there's only 32 teams, and gets that number 32 pick, and the Eagles are the Super Bowl champions. Just wanted to remind people. But either way, we obviously lost a lot of people. We had more of one of those low risk, high reward type of off seasons, a lot of 1-year contracts. We were able to get guys like Azeez Ojulari, which I think was a great pickup. Adoree, I think, is a good pickup. I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it's a good pickup. You get a little bit of competition in that room. And realistically, I think that Adoree pickup frees you up because I don't think that what happened in this draft will necessarily happen. If it does, amazing. And maybe that's a little foreshadowing on who I'm going to pick. But I think that the Eagles did a lot to just keep their rooms competitive. I don't think that they got much high-end talent. I think that they just got guys that are going to come in and they're going to fight for a position. And I think that's important when you have a lot of young players who you're kind of banking on, right? You're kind of hoping that they're going to be the future of your team. There was some rumors going around that Jordan Davis's fifth-year option isn't going to get picked up. We'll see what happens with that. If that's true, we could be in the market for a defensive tackle in this draft, more importantly than maybe we all thought. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, I think that we got a lot of good players, a lot of tight end help, which is going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. But I don't think that we got anybody that you can, sit there and be like, oh, this guy is going to make the big difference. We're hoping to catch on to another Zach Bond this year. That's really what we did. But I do think if you want to pinpoint one move that I think will help the Eagles that people aren't talking about is switching long snapper. Look, real talk. I think last year Jake Elliott was so up and down, so off of his game. And when you go back and you really, for the people that are weird like me, when you really go back and watch his misses, it's usually the result of a bad snap. So I love Rick Lovato. He's one of those guys that unsung hero for the Eagles, right? He was here for the last Super Bowl. But I think moving on from him and kind of solidifying that room will help the Eagles. And maybe we don't see a massive change, but I think you will see a good change. So either way, not a crazy offseason, but we're doing what we need to do. This Jacksonville pick is not terrible. Okay.
Nice.
I want to take Siobhan Revel. I know he's coming off a little injury or whatever, and I know people might be a little sour about grabbing a guy coming off an injury. They think of Sidney Brown or Sidney Jones back in the day. But I love Siobhan Revel, and I just think once you get past that cornerback, I don't think that there's anybody that I'm willing to say he's probably going to start that we'll at least be able to pick, because our next pick isn't till, let me see, 64. So most likely all these guys are going to be gone. I'll be talking about like Denzel Burke and Darian Porter, maybe if he stays there. And I don't think any of those guys are difference makers. So I do like that trade, though. I'm not going to lie. Not this one. Because then you get 88. You're only moving back 4. Somebody's going to take
it's up
him.
To you. So it's funny. You have to figure out. I don't know if you ever it's called tier-based drafting. Like, do you have 4 players in that tier that you're comfortable drafting, or is Siobhan Revel a clear tier above everyone else? You have to think about that. That's how that works. So you have 1, 2, 3. It's up to you.
We're not taking Mike Green. Like, Mike Green's not coming to Philly. We all but said that. Like, he's just not. He's not coming to Philly. So I don't even look at him on the board anymore. See, safety is another one. So like Xavier Watts makes sense, but I think that we could wait. There's I think we have Makuba. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I know we had him in for a top 30. We also had Winston in for a top 30. So I'm not like pressed for safety, to be honest with you. To me, it's Walter Nolan, Siobhan, or maybe Kenneth Grant. Like, those are my 3. And I'm going to go Siobhan Revel because I think that you can get quality defensive tackles later in this draft. I think that you can get quality edge players later in this draft. I'm hoping with that 60-something pick that I can get an edge guy.
So do this when you pick it, right? So hang on for a second. When you pick, keep an eye on – go on the edge – sorry. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to trade up. I'm going to keep an eye on the 49ers board. So when you're ready, go to the edge class. I want to keep an eye on the edges while the 49ers pick come up, and I could potentially pause and draw a trade after you're done. So do what you got to do.
All right, so I'll take Siobhan Revel. I got to be quick with this. All right. Okay.
So the 49ers are coming up. All right, let's see what happened. Go ahead. Hampton's gone. Well, what edge are available at this point? Mike Green's going. Okay. Grant. Oh, they're already picked. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
All right. So
because I was going to base. Yeah.
They took my guy, right? Move up some, please. Yep, they took Todd Lee.
No Ohio State boys for you.
Henderson right here. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yes, sir.
This is all the top people on the board right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm. Can you go to defensive tackles? It took Grant right before me too.
Yeah, they just went on a
Yeah,
run
they
for
did.
defensive tackles. Alexander's nice.
Marlon Lott, I like him a lot.
Jack Turner.
Marlon Lott's pretty solid.
Oh, go to running backs. Hmm.
Take Scatterbo, dude. Go. You
No,
won't.
hell no. Let me
Take
go to
Scatterbo.
receivers.
Mm.
These are all they're gonna get. They're all gonna go in the second and third round and start flying off
I
the board right
know,
here.
but go to my picks. What I have though, with the trade, 44.
So you got 44 and 55.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not bad.
Damn,
Damn, all your picks
I
are
know.
right together.
That's what I'm thinking. Should I get this running back, then get this receiver, or should I get this receiver and again get this running back?
It's up to you. Me personally, well, my advice: you want to do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna go Travion Henderson right here.
That's what I was gonna do. I'll take running back if I were you. Take a running back. The wide receiver is a little bit deeper. Get Henderson and maybe get Junkins, one of those guys.
Why wouldn't let me draft him?
Is he already gone?
No, I
I was about to say.
draft. My bad. Well, this might change your opinion a little bit. I forgot that.
I
you
don't
can get
want
some
no
trade
trade
offers. I don't know
offers.
if any of these. Neither of these are really that good. Travion is a cowboy. Damn, they took Princely. I was hoping he would fall to me.
All right.
And Landon. Damn.
I wanted Landon Jackson. I was hoping he'd come back around for me.
Go to receiver.
Mm.
I like Jaden Higgins right there.
That's a good pick.
But we need
There's some good wide
we need
receivers, man.
speed though. That's the problem.
Isaiah Bond.
Yeah, but he's so sometimey.
There's some good ones. I am Noah's a good one.
Let me see my tackle. Let me see,
Travion
can I see my
Williams.
defensive tackles?
Damn, Deion
Mhm.
Walker's still there.
I'm gonna go get Alfred Collins right here. Mhm.
Out of Texas. Damn.
They always throwing me something. No, I don't want that. Let me see the next one. 73. And nah, I mean the future picks are always good, but I'm gonna stick with what I got.
It's no use for us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no fun for
exactly.
us.
What are my picks looking like? What do I have next? Like I want to kind of strategize a little bit.
So you have 61, 109, 128, and 245.
So I gotta make this one count. All right, so basically I have a wide receiver that's gonna start potentially. It's gonna all big board. Oh, they have Connolly still on the board with? That's a mistake. Oh, I mean that's a joke. Yeah, but let's look. All right, Connolly would be legit. Let's get Royals. Isaiah Bond. Keep going down a little bit. Jaden Higgins. I love Jaden Higgins actually. I'd be really interested. But I already got Ibuka. Keep going down. What is the edge looking like? Kyle Kennard's there too. Come up a little bit. He's the best one on the board. Femi Oladejo. I'm gonna see if I can get him later on. That's my hope. I'm gonna see if he falls to 100 for me. I like him. Go back to the all. Interesting. What's up with? All right, let me see. Dude, Conley's too good to pass up. He's not going to be there. I mean, I don't know if I should take him because it's BS. I got to take him, but it's like he's not going to really be there. Let me go down a little more.
The money wasn't in there.
Isaiah Bond,
I
TJ
got down my
Sanders.
bag, so I remember to put the money in.
How do you even get it? How do you even get it?
Keep going out a little more, Joe. I can pass 68. I got like 5 more picks.
He tore it up like he was there.
All right, no one really that good. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna take what's available, man. I'm gonna take what's right in front of me. If Conley's there, I'm gonna take. I think twice about it. I'm gonna pick him, and he'll be my right tackle to solidify my offensive line. Protect Jaden.
All right, well, let me talk to you real quick.
Okay,
You wouldn't want to move back like 3 spots?
I love
man.
to. I actually will. Oh, you want to trade with me? That's so funny. What do you want?
I want Josh. I want Josh. Josh in the second would be ridiculous.
What kind of picks do you got? You have a lot, don't you?
Yeah, let's look at my treasure trove real quick.
Okay.
You know, maybe we can help each other out. Look at that. That's a lot of picks.
64, 96.
What if I gave you, well, just to start conversation, all right? Go ahead, give me 61.
Okay.
I'll give you 64.
Okay.
I'll give you 164, 165, and Houston's 5th next year for 245. And
I want that 96 is what I want.
I know
Yeah,
you do, and that's why I was trying to
give
get
me that
around.
one. Yeah, give me that 96.
I
If
was
you
trying
want
to
to
get around
talk,
that.
I think me that 96 somehow. I'm down for that. How about
All right.
64, 96, and 128? 61 and 128. Actually, never mind. Why would I do that? Yeah, no, hold on. 64, 96, and then you give me 128.
Yeah, so all right, so 64, 96, you give me 61. Yeah, how about this? 64, 96 and 165
Okay.
for 250 for 61 and 128.
All right, 128 and 245, and you're gonna give me 165. Wait, you're gonna give me 135. Okay, hold on. Let me take a look.
Yeah, so this is what I mean.
Okay, that 64, 96, 128. So I'll have 64, 96, 109. You're gonna give me that 134 though.
You're gonna
Wait,
have
64. I'm
2 picks between 95 and 110. That's worth something.
64, 96. Take them in the clears of that trade. So 64, 96, 128, 164. So I will get a benefit of 96. But the thing is, I'm giving up 128. I don't have to give up 128. That's a trick, though. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that wants to move up.
Well, you're basically moving up from 128 to 96, and then you're getting 165 free.
But I'm also going back 3 with 61.
Yeah, but I mean, 3 shmee, that's nothing.
Throw that-
What's 3 spots between friends?
Oh my goodness. 64, 96.
I'll throw in a 7th next year.
Throw this 7th next year. Let me see. Throw me that 161 and I'm good. Let's do it.
Instead of
No,
165?
both.
You're killing me,
Let's
man.
do it. You don't want to straight up. I'm good. I'm going to take Connolly. I'm going to take your boy.
I can't stand you, man. You said 161 and 165.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna get flack for this, man.
Those 161 and 165 are dart throws anyway. It's not a big deal.
I feel like I'm giving up too much. I mean, but
Want to pick him up for enemies.
that's a lot, man. There's nothing else I could really give you. You know what? For the sake of,
For the hell of it. Yeah, go for it. Why not?
let's go for it. So you
I'm
down
down.
with
Let's
it?
go. Because I was going to take Connolly. I really was. You heard me. It's coming out of my mouth. I was going to take him.
And I don't care about 161.
I'm gonna say those are
165. I would
dart throws
probably,
anyway. That's why it's whatever. That's why I don't care.
yeah, I would probably hope for a tackle to.
I
what do you mean it'd be
rejected all that,
rejected?
and they said no.
You can't override it.
That's what I'm saying. Hold up. I rejected it. So that yeah, they're saying that I'm giving up too
Yeah,
much.
Howie
I'm gonna do
said
it from
hell
my
no.
side. Yeah, Howie's like, Joe, are you serious right now? It's all right, Howie. We gonna make it. All right, so 165, 160.
And I gave you 61 and 128, right? All right, let's do it. There you go. All right.
All right, so I'm gonna take Trey Amos.
Mhm.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm willing to take Josh Connerly in the first. If
Mm.
I'm being 100% honest with you,
100%.
I'm not against it at all.
100%.
I know a lot of people. There's people always in my comments saying he's going to sit. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with him sitting for a year or two, especially if he's going to be a swing tackle. Let him learn in this system. Let him be a 10-year offensive tackle for us, whether it's the left. Well, it's going to be the right side, but let him learn the right side. Let him get great at that under us and under Stoutland. And I'm cool with that. In the second round, I think that's a steal.
Mhm.
That is a steal.
That's a good pick. All right.
Damn, so you could continue to get pick rich.
Keep going. The next one. I was going to reject it for the sake of the draft. Yeah, we can keep trading all day long. We're not going to do all that. Let me look at my picks real quick. I have 96 after this, and what else? So my picks are 64 and 96. All right, so I'm actually doing all right. And I have 100. All right, cool. I'll make it work. So let's go running backs real quick. I want to look at that. I want to look at edge. Running back, Scootin' Tootin' right there. I like Dylan Sampson. Devin Neal's another one as well. Michelle Tootin, I like him for sure. Go to edge real quick. Go to defense. I want to see the cornerbacks and edge is what I'm looking at. Edge. All right, I like Femi Oladejo. I like him. I don't know if I'm gonna take him right now. That's one I can keep an eye on real quick. And then let's take a look at cornerbacks. Kobe Bryant's pretty solid too. I like him
I was
too.
about to say, I like
Yeah. All right, so those are the two guys I'm looking at real quick. Go to safety and see what kind of safeties are up on the board. No one I really like too much. And go to all. Let me see what the big board looks like all together.
Didn't they take Makuba already?
Williams, Schlesinger, Deion Walker, Jalen
Damn.
Royals. See, this is the trick. So I'm happy that I got Ibuka, but like I have Isaiah Bond here. I have Jaden Higgins here. So it's kind of like a learning, I learned something, right? So like I went for the wide receiver, but there's other wide receivers I could have taken later on. Maybe I could have got the edge because now I'm kind of in a pinch real quick. It's learning something that I learned real quick. So let's scroll down, go to up to 80 if you don't mind. I just want to see what the next couple picks are over here.
I'm surprised offensive line isn't a big thing on y'all list.
It's pretty. As I'm saying, it's actually pretty solid because we got Tunzel. So we had Brendan Coleman, who was our starting left tackle, bumping him into guard. We have Tunzel now as our left tackle, and then we basically have Sam Cosby, who's a Pro Bowl guard anyway. So we're actually in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
So we're solid. Look at this board. I don't love this board, man. That's kind of the hard part. There's wide receivers on there. I think go to the top one more time. Deion Walker, Cameron Williams. Shoot, I might take Williams, man. I might just kind of solidify our line. Just kind of, I'm looking honestly between Deion Walker and Williams are the two that I'm looking at. Like, there's a bunch of wide receivers on the board. That's probably something I should have done, but we'll see how that goes. And Omar and Norman Lott's a good one too. Yeah, so let me do. I'll take the best on the board. I'll take Cameron Williams. Let's do that. Solidify my offensive line. Put him on right tackle if I need to. It just plays as funny as hell. Nah, I wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah, people are giving me hell about that trade. Leave me alone, y'all. This is the worst trade I've ever seen on the market.
Free
That's
pick.
no fun at all. Mm.
No, I'm
Is he
here.
muted? All right, I was like, did I?
I'm
did I
studying
mute
this.
you?
I'm studying this
Hey,
one right
that-
here.
That's future and now. You want to look at your picks and just what you got, what's on the board?
No, I think I'm gonna go with I think I kind of know who I want. We talked about him earlier when we were talking about going to the Senior Bowl. He was the first guy was the one to talk about and receiver. Jalen Royals right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're gonna go with.
Yeah, I need to touch my what? Go to all the receivers.
There's a bunch of good wide receivers on the board. You're in good shape there.
Mm.
Kyle Williams gets a lot of cred. People like him a
Mhm.
lot. Tez Johnson's a burner, but he's small.
Davion Williams.
I told you
he's
about Torrey
fast.
Horton. Yeah. Ty Felton, my Maryland boy, I like him a lot.
We need a number 2 guy. Right now, I don't know if Royals
Okay,
would come
Ford.
right in and be like a guy. You know?
Your 2 ex wide receivers would be A.M. Minor and Kyle Williams and Torrey Horton. Those are the 3.
I like Torrey Horton, man. I feel like people sleep on him, but
And when do I pick again?
you're at 86,
Oh,
so
that's
10
not
picks
bad.
away.
And let's go to corners because I need a corner too.
People saying I gave up the farm. If 164, 165 is the farm, y'all have
Well,
a
like
very
20
bad
picks.
farm.
The trick with the Eagles that people don't think about, you have 20 picks over the next 2 years. You can't even put those
Exactly.
players on the team. They're not going to make the roster. You have to trade a little bit. You have to be aggressive.
Kobe's still there.
Kobe Bryant. What do you
Yeah.
think between him and Dorian Strong? Do y'all know about Dorian Strong?
Not too much.
Yeah, I don't know much about Dorian Strong. I ain't gonna lie.
Because I heard good things about him. I'm gonna go with Strong right here. I trust my guy Ty Church because I'm gonna gamble and think I'm gonna try to get this receiver since I'm like 86. That shouldn't be too far. Let's go with it.
So Dorian Strong, I'm gonna look him up a little bit more because. Damn, Darius Alexander
Nope.
goes right before I pick.
You have a lot of picks, James. This is, like, how many picks do you really have the Cowboys this year?
Well, I gained 3 more, and I had 3 5s and 2 6s and 2 7s.
Hmm.
Yeah, I gave him 22, 55, and 86. So this is the last
Mhm.
of that trade. All for Jalen Walker. That's
crazy, right?
Wild.
I'll go ahead and
I
take
don't
that though.
That's crazy.
I like him, but
Go to receivers now since I got my corner.
You still got some wide receivers.
yeah, you're in the same spot.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this gamble with Savion Williams.
There you go.
He's got a lot of speed, and he's a big boy.
All right, keep going. That's actually a good pick. I mean, to be honest with you, it's a good pick. Where was it? I get 103, and I get let's go to the board real quick. I'll probably take that, but let me see what's going on. Go to the big board, Joe. Because it's on offense right now. Let me see. Deion Walker's still on the board.
Damn.
Okay, Minor. All right, Kyle
That's
Williams.
crazy.
Arroyo's legit tight end. Scatabo. Torrey Holton's still there. Just Farmer Billy Bowman. Restrepo. It's funny. Restrepo was actually a pretty legit. It's a pretty legit wide receiver. But he had a horrible 40 time. That's why he fell so hard. It's kind of crazy. That trade that I would take, right? So how far back would I go if I did that one trade?
I think it was like 10 something.
Maybe like
103.
7 back. All right, let's do that. I'm gonna take that trade. That's what I was trying to be sneaky. I was trying to get Femi at 103. That's all I was trying to do. Got screwed. Okay, there you go. All right, let's go back a little bit. All right, so going on the board. Go to running backs real quick. I don't want Scotty. I was trying to mess with Joe.
Go ahead and get him. You know you love him.
No, let's take a look. I might get Scootin' Tootin' right there, 111. I like
He's
him.
nice.
Devin Neal's legit too. I like him as well. Dylan Sampson's still there too. I'm actually in good shape. All right, cool. What are my picks? Just want to kind of pace it out a little bit. I want to get one of those running backs for sure. So 103, 109. I'm actually looking pretty nice now. Let's do this. Go back to the all board again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take – I think there's like that Deion Walker's still on the board. That's stupid. I'm just going to take that real quick. Just add to my arsenal defensive tackle. And then I'm going to take one of these running backs in 109. No, I'm good. We can keep it realistic. I'm doing all these trades. And when's my next pick? Just to be sure. 160.
161. Oh, mine.
And then go to edge real quick. I'm just kind of curious what the edge look like. Go up a little bit. Josiah Stewart. He fights, man. Josiah Stewart's actually a pretty legit one. And then go to running back one more time. I'm looking at Dylan Sampson. I'm curious if he'll be around. Like if I wait till 161, I don't think so though. Dylan Sampson at 137. And Devin Neal's down there too. All right, I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna go for it. Go to defense. I'm gonna add Josiah Stewart. He's kind of a fighter, man. He's a good edge player. He's small. I don't know if you guys know much about him. For those listeners as well, Josiah Stewart is like 5'10" or something like that. He's a kind of a small edge, but he just has like an unrelenting motor. And he played for Michigan, all 10 of his games and started. So I like that. So I'll put him on my edge and see what happens there. I'll take him and help a running back falls to me at 161.
Oh, snap. I get the pick again. All right. I'm going to look at my edges. What do we have so far? All right.
Those are two high quality picks, but they're only 2 picks. That's a trick.
Yeah, but that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm going over. I know everybody wants to pick up every one of their favorite players. At this point, I'm looking at quality over quantity. In the comments, I see a lot of people being like, oh, we have Stoutland, whoever you get, he's going to be great. Okay, that makes sense to a certain extent, but realistically, you want to get quality players. The less work that he has to do on a player, the better off. Like I'm not sitting here trying to make everybody into Jordan Mailata. That's just not realistic. Love a lot of these guys. There's a lot of, and we brought in a lot of offensive linemen on top 30 visits. Let me see where we're at. We did bring in Jaden Blue on a visit. Let's see where we're at. Safety guys.
You don't like Reed. Reed's getting a little bit of him and Malachi Moore.
He's getting
yeah,
buzzed.
Reed's getting a little bit of pub. People liking him.
I do like Malachi Moore. I don't know if this is maybe no. I mean,
Not
it's
too
not
much of a
too
stretch,
early
yeah.
to take him. Let me see what we got. We brought in Elijah Roberts for a top 30, if I'm not mistaken, as well. You know what? I think I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with Elijah Roberts because I do think that we need some defensive tackle help. He's more of a pass rusher. I mean, he was very productive last year. Yeah, I think that he's the type of build the Eagles would like. I mean, obviously they did bring him in on the top 30.
So interesting.
Kind of mad. Yeah, Kobe Bryant lasted a long time. I didn't think he would last that long. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it simple. I like Cam Jackson a lot. Jordan Phillips, I like a lot. Those are guys that I usually pick as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Elijah Roberts. Let's keep it as realistic. I mean, they did bring him in on the top 30. Torrey Horton goes. Jordan Phillips, I was just talking about him. He goes. All right, and then what are my picks again? 134, 160. Okay. Let's see who we have. I think this is where I go for Malachi Moore. I think the Eagles have been getting good players, good athletes from top colleges, and keep it going. And Malachi Moore can, at the very, very least, I think that he'll push some of the other guys, like, Reed Blankenship and whatever they're going to do at the other safety. I mean, maybe it's Sidney Brown, maybe it's who knows whose it is, but maybe it's Malachi Moore. So I'm going to go with Malachi Moore. We need some competition there. That's one spot we really didn't even touch during free agency. So we'll see what happens there. We got the Cowboys up next.
I'm tempted to take Dylan Sampson right here. I'm tempted.
Do it. You got Trayvon, though.
That's all right. We can have 2. I mean, we're building up that offensive line. Tyler Booker really solidifies. If I got Booker and I love what we got in Cooper Beebe, I think he's going to be all-pro very soon. Tyler Smith is very good. And then hopefully if Guyton can get stronger, that offensive line is looking good.
Go to running back, Joe. I want to see something real quick.
It's a lot of guys.
That's cool.
Go to tight end.
Oh, don't look at tight ends. You don't want a tight end.
I definitely might want to. I can get a Luke Lachey right here. Well, let me look at a quarterback right quick. Yeah, quarterback.
Quarterback?
Man,
Would you trade 149 for 161 and 165, James?
would I trade what?
149 for 161 and 165?
And we're in round 5 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's on you.
Because I like getting more picks. No, let me take this tight end right here. I want to take Luke Lachey right here.
All right.
He was trying to get him some Dylan
I
Sampson.
was trying to get some Dylan Sampson. Go ahead. Is he still on the board? Is he still? I think he's still there.
Whoa,
I think he's still there.
He's still there?
Come on home, baby. I love that. Perfect. No question. I got that all day long. Dylan Sampson. I love him. One of my favorite running backs in the draft.
Had him shook right quick.
209.
As soon as I mentioned him, he like,
All right, so I do want a tight end, but I don't love any of these guys. I like bringing Stool. I don't think anybody else does. Like, I've been the only one I've heard talk about him, so it is what it is. But I do like bringing Stool. But again, none of these guys I feel like would start. And I know a lot of people want to bring somebody in, but we just brought in like 15 freaking tight ends
So
that are all number two.
tight end's a big worry for the Eagles.
I think that I don't want to say worry. I think that it's one of those things that we know the life expectancy of Dallas Goedert and Philly is not that high. Like if I'm surprised he didn't get traded this year. I'll say that. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't think that any of these guys push you to be like, all right, yeah, let's, we're good. We don't need to worry about Dallas Goedert. So I'm not even going to really, I know it's going to piss people off. It is what it is. That's what I do. With these drafts. I think I'm going to stick to kind of going with some of their top 30 guys. There's another guy here with top 30. And I do, even though we got AJ Dillon, obviously we drafted old boy last year. What the heck is his name? Oh, I'm blanking on his name. Y'all tell me in the comments. What the heck is
running
his
backs?
name?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, we just drafted him last year. And I'm spacing on his name. But either way, we just drafted him last year. He was able to play a little bit in the Super Bowl that we won, so that was nice. But Jaden Blue, I think that it makes sense for the Eagles. He's a guy that can do a little bit of everything, a good runner, a really good pass catcher. He adds another dimension to your running game, because realistically, I love Saquon, but he can't catch.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. He can do everything else like perfectly. But every time I see that ball go towards him in the air, I'm like, oh my God, here. I hold my breath. I'm not gonna lie. That boy, he's great at a lot of things, but catching ain't one of them. So Jaden Blue, I think that makes sense, especially at this point in the draft. You talk about dart throws. I think that he is.
Yeah, just reject that. I'm cool. I'm going to start sticking with my picks now. So you can reject it. 165, 167. Go to the big board for all, if you don't mind, Joe. Please.
Will Shipley, thank you guys.
He was a Texas running back, right? I think he played for Texas.
He's good.
So Devin Neal's a solid pick. I mean, I'm surprised you took Jaden Blue over Devin Neal. I like Devin Neal a lot, but maybe do the Eagles typically draft people that are their 30 visits?
What's up?
They typically do that.
Say that again?
So you know how they have the 30, the top 30 when they bring them in and bring them in their offices. Do the Eagles typically draft those guys? It's more like information finding, because Washington does. Washington is drafted.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think last year, I want to say a little bit less than half of them were on top 30
Okay,
visits.
there you go.
So like we kind of top 30 visits for us. We'll get a guy that's a 7th round projection just to make sure we love him. So yeah, I do think that it holds water for the Eagles.
All right, so let's scroll down a little bit, Joe. Let's see what's on the big board over here. All right, keep going down. I don't see anyone I love yet. All right, keep going. Yeah, they really it's good in the bottom of the barrel now.
Wasn't Kitten Oregon State, or was that a different kitten?
You can go to the info. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know much about him.
This is when you gotta really know that draft.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess he was just another.
Go to my
kitten.
picks real quick. Let's take a look at what I got.
Too much.
Listen, I got some. I got some solid. I got a pretty solid draft right here. I like it. Abuka Williams, Deion Walker, Josiah Stewart, Dylan Sampson. I love those. And these are my last 2 picks of the draft. Interesting. Okay, so go to defense. Let me see if there's any more edge rushers that are kind of a flyer on there. And I want to see if Kyron Lacey is available too. That'll be another little like interesting one. So go to defense, please, if you don't mind. All right, Cam Jackson, Jay Higgins. Go to edge if you don't mind, Joe. Johnny Walker, that's a great name. Yeah,
Right,
I like that. And then let's go to, I don't see anyone really good here. Go to corner really quick, Joe. All right. Yeah, I don't see anyone really great here either. You can search, right? Can you do that as well? You go to search, right? There's a little search bar right there underneath the W. You see it? Yeah, type in Lacy, Lacy.
No.
There's no E. There he is.
Oh,
All right, draft him. I'm gonna get a little sleeper pick right there. I like him. He has a criminal charge against him, but he played with Jaden Daniels at LSU. He was actually a pretty legit wide receiver. He had 7 touchdowns with him at LSU. So I kind of like a little dart throw wide receiver. And then go to all again. Let's go back. And then that's the top all together.
Yeah,
Sebastian Castro, Miles Frazier, Rashard Smith. And then go to cornerback real quick. I think there's like Cypress from Florida State. I might take a shot on him. He's like a late. I mean, I'm going to overdraft him. I don't have any more picks later on, so let me see. Yeah, Fentrell Cypress. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Just draft him. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's pretty solid. It's pretty decent pick. Get him perfect.
all right. So I've pissed everybody off all day, so I'm gonna make everybody happy. Everybody's saying take a linebacker, and one guy said his boy is Teddy Buchanan out of California. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea anything about him, but I like doing this at the end of the draft, kind of picking guys I don't know, so it makes me look them up. I do kind of want to read his card if he got anything. High motor linebacker, known for intelligence, tackling proficiency, very athletic, it seems like. Hey, I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. Now, I know, like, why are the Eagles looking at linebacker? We just signed Zach Bond back. We obviously have Nakobe Dean. Jeremiah Trotter was drafted last year. But there is concerns with injuries with Nakobe Dean. There are, long-term concerns about what's going to be the future of the Eagles. So I'm not against them going with linebacker out there. I don't think that it's a top 3 round type thing. But if you're going to try and get somebody that could be at the very worst, a good special teamer, I'm cool with that. We definitely need that. And then you got the Cowboys back up on the board.
All righty. I should have got me a quarterback.
Dylan Gabriel's right there. It's pretty solid.
He's so damn short.
Said corner. Yeah. He's so short. He is.
Who's still available at QB?
Quinn Ewers probably.
Ugh.
No.
He can't be. He got to be gone, and he's overdrafted.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I swear they picked up on this draft board. There's no one on there anymore, man. It's tough picks. Tough picking.
And this is, can you go to all the players, please? This is all of them right there. Scroll down a little bit. I might scoop a. Go with a go to defensive tackle again, please.
I want to make sure I don't got no more picks. All right, yeah, I ain't got no more picks. I love Cam Johnson. I'm a bit
Yeah, I say
Jackson.
Cam Jackson's
I
pretty
love-
legit. He's pretty solid.
I think he's slept on. Yaya's good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
pretty
think
solid.
Yaya will be good right here. What round are we in? 5th?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yaya will be good right here for me too. Because I
Eagles Dynasty's right. People's is pretty good too.
yeah.
Virginia Tech
What's
guy.
his size though?
Click on the bio, Joe. Take a look.
No,
He's a 22
no.
basketball.
If you want size, I'm telling you, Cam Jackson, bro, he might be, not have the prettiest chart. What is it?
Rad score,
the colorful chart.
Yeah.
But I mean, that boy, big.
Is he that?
bro.
Is he the huge one, like number 21? Like that, just 400-pound one? Is that the same dude or no? Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
Nah, I don't think
Who's
No,
that
yeah,
guy?
I ain't
Number
doing that. I know who
21?
you're talking about. I ain't nobody
Yeah.
doing that. I'm gonna get Yaya because I want two DTs. And get him in the 50 is not bad.
Desmond Watson. So you're getting you said Yaya Black? Desmond Watson, I think, is the name you're looking for. That's the heaviest guy. He's 400
he big
pounds.
as hell.
Big as hell. 464 pounds.
That's what's his name again?
Desmond
Yeah.
Watson from the Gators.
Yeah. He's huge.
That is insane.
People say he's built like a T-Rex. What they say, he's just a big boy. He's a big boy, man. Yeah, number 21. It's hilarious. He just tosses people around.
All right, the Cowboys. I just want to see if he's on the board. No,
Who are you looking for? Which Watson?
the one we were just talking about.
Okay, that big dude. Okay, he might still be. He might
wonder
still
if he
be
got
in college.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go
think
to
he is.
linebackers right here.
Jamon Dumbass Johnson.
Dumbass. Dumbass.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Cody Simon right here.
I'm not just gonna take
Dumbass
Dumbass Johnson. That's top 5 name, man.
Dumbass Johnson. Yeah. You know, the teacher called him a dumbass a couple times.
Oh, you already know. So I think the Cowboys are the only team with picks left.
All right, so got that linebacker right here. Let's go to edge.
It's funny Jordan James is undrafted. He's pretty legit.
Yeah, I like him a lot. There's so many good running backs. So
Johnny
many.
Walker Blue.
The black Johnny
Hold on,
Walker.
just
Black.
not, yeah. Who? Do y'all really know about Johnny Walker?
Nah, it's like his name.
No,
I said his
the
name.
drink.
I was like his name.
Yeah,
The
drink
liquor.
I
Yeah,
know
I was a
all about.
liquor. Yeah, it's nice.
Let me see what they talk about. He's not
4.87.
Oh wait,
Damn.
that's terrible. That's
9.5
Yeah,
sacks
okay.
though.
went round 6.
That dude, that guy's pretty legit. The Boise State guy, he's like undersized, but he has like a high motor from what I understand too. I was watching him at the combine. He's like a slim edge. Let's see what his size is real quick. Yeah, it's just
6'2", 267.
yeah.
He's a CrossFit champion.
I'm about to say he's a hustler. Like he's like a raw prospect. He'd be probably a pretty good pick at this stage of the draft. But do you?
That is 12.5
Yeah, that's what I'm
sacks.
saying. He's kind of a sleeper. He's an unfinished prod. Like he's like a dart throw. Is what you get in the 6th round kind of thing.
Over 20 sacks the past 2 years combined. That's pretty darn good. Maybe he could work Mozzie's fat self
Man,
out.
that's why I got 2
Yeah, I'm in the
DTs. I'm
CrossFit.
not even saying Yaya, but he big body. Anybody that takes the place of Mozzie, where Mozzie a rotational guy, not the main guy. That's what he needs to be right now. Go to corner.
I do like BJ Adams out of UCF, but I mean, I don't think he'll be great, but I think he's
Yeah,
good.
go to safety because I think, I feel like you're tired because I might go ahead and just take that. Yep, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go
Shiloh.
ahead and scoop him in the 6. That can't hurt. Yep, that
You
can't
gonna
hurt.
take Shiloh? That'll be fun to watch.
Bring some
That will be
pizzazz.
fun to watch for Dallas too.
All right, and
Mhm.
let's go offensive line. Let's see what we got the offensive line.
I would love a world
Wait,
where the Giants take.
wait.
Well, not really love it.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Taj Brook right here.
Mm,
Over Jordan Davis,
I thought he
interesting.
was like 5'9".
Yeah. Josh
Yes,
Gray's
well,
look pretty legit. Caden Brady's pretty legit too.
Reason why I say
Some good
Taj
ball
Brooks because I got a speed back already in Travion Henderson. He is more of a bell cow back. So you got two guys that because he got a lot of carries, so he can really tote the rock. And
here. Cowboys like every other.
well, yeah, we
other
like
pick,
that.
man. They're always
Let me go ahead. I'll scoop you up, Curtis Rope. What's his size? He's short, ain't he? No, he big. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
6'4"?
take you.
He led the FBS with a 181. You know, I never understood why those. I mean, obviously we have quarterbacks that are great in college, they're great in the NFL, but usually, like when you're one of those, like has the most passing yards, like Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore had like the most passing yards in FBS history and sucked in the NFL. I never understood. Like, what's the huge?
They just use
I don't
that to
know,
hype
man.
him up even
the
more.
system. Yeah, it's like a spread offense and stuff. You know, that's why up tempo. It's always college is always a little bit different.
True,
And
that makes sense.
competition. But you're right. I feel you though.
Jalen Travis is good. The Eagles brought him on a top 30 as well.
Mhm.
So this is one of the last picks of the draft. Kicker, special teams player. You're looking more like cornerback, wide receiver, linebacker.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
You're looking more
another.
like
I'm
special
thinking
teams
about
player.
grabbing another. Is whatchamacallit still there? He's gone. Receiver Jimmy Horn.
He's going. I saw him come off
Damn.
the board.
Take Lambert Smith. He's trash, bro. You can have him.
I need somebody. Anybody else got any big body right here?
I don't really know him like that. Yeah, these are all like late picks.
Yeah, we sell them round. Go up. I'm about to just close my eyes and pick.
All or just wide receivers?
Let's go. Let me scoop that offensive lineman right there, Jacob Gidden.
And I think that actually ends this draft.
Mm-hmm.
So quickly, we'll go over our picks, and then we'll get out of y'all hair.
Yeah, I fixed my
But,
O line
so
and D
shout out
line
to
in this
everybody,
draft.
man.
Yes, I did.
I will say, I think you had probably. I mean, we only did 2 drafts so far, but this is definitely your best draft. I mean, this is definitely your best draft. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Over 350 people in the chat throughout this. I will say there was a moment where it was way too Cowboys heavy, but it's kind of evened out, so I'm happy about that. I appreciate it. But with that said, we'll start off with my guy James with the Cowboys. I think you did really good in this one. I really do. Especially your first 5-6 picks was like pretty on point. So how do you feel about it? What were your thoughts with
I
this
feel
draft?
good about the draft. We talked about it. You said it. You win in them trenches. It starts in the trenches. And right now, line is in flux. You just probably need one player to really take it up. And like I said, Tyler Booker has been the guy that's been talked about for, the last week or so, really been talked up. And he's a mammoth guy. He's like 321 pounds. If you can slide him right at the guard position where you already got a 325 in Cooper Beebe, we haven't had a center who's a road grader. We've always had a center who's been undersized. Tyler Biadasz. The list goes on. We've always had undersized good centers. Even Travis Frederick, he was still undersized as far as power goes. So you add him, you add Cooper Beebe already there. You already got Tyler Smith, who's a power guy. I think that brings up Terrence Steele. His game comes up, and then hopefully Tyler Guyton really gets in that weight room because he's already got the size at 6'7". So that really helps the offensive line right there. And then this has been my guy for the last 2 months, Travion Henderson. I'm out here in Ohio State, so I see the running game. I could have went Quinshawn Judkins, but for me, Judkins is more of a north-south guy. He's a bell cow guy. He's not a breakaway guy. I feel like he really needs the offensive line to be good for him to be even better. Whereas Travion Henderson, you got Miles Sanders, you do have Javonte Williams. You can throw a Travion Henderson in there, and I still got a Taj Brooks late. You feel me? So I got another guy that was a lot of people like that Texas Tech. So, but for a guy, we need home run hitters, and we don't really have it. And Travion Henderson is a home run hitter, and then you can play. We've seen in the NFL, you can win by running back by committee. You don't have to have a guy. So you got a speed element in Travion Henderson. You can mix him with Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, see how that goes. And then you got Alfred Collins, who I love, 6'6". He's a good 325. That's what we need right there. Like I said, I want to put Mozzie on the back burner, and that's why I picked up Black, and we'll talk about him right quick. But getting him really helps out that line. I keep on saying, get Calais Campbell, because if you get him for just one more year, I mean, dude started every game the last 2 years, 17 games. He's 38 years old, had a total of 11 sacks in 2 years, a total of 112 tackles in 2 years. You can squeeze one more year out of him, get him, and then get Alfred Collins, the Yaya Black, and now you got a Mozzie Smith who ain't got the pressure. Now I feel like you're cooking. You feel better in that defensive tackle room, and you already got your pass rushing defensive tackles in Osa and Solomon Thomas. Now I feel better if you do that. So we definitely helped out the trenches on both sides. Dorian Strong, good long cornerback, long arm, 6'1", has that prerequisite size that they like. With Trevin Diggs, we don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know if he's going to be with the team next year. He's still injured. Deron Bland, I said don't give him cornerback one money, and you've seen how the market has kind of skyrocketed with these recent signings with these cornerbacks. I hope I don't know. I just don't think he should do that. They should do that for him. But he should definitely get his money. But this adds to the room. Somebody can play right now. We got Kalen Carson, who was our last year draft pick. He was in the 5th round. He's got good size, but he was hurt. So I feel like this helps the room right now. Waited a little bit too long for receiver, maybe, but Savion Williams is a big guy, ran about 4'4", 6'3", 220 pounds. We need a number 2 to come in. Now, if you're drafting like this, hopefully you got a free agent receiver, because then this makes this pick feel better. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't feel like, oh, you got to push him to that role. If you got that vet like a Keenan Allen, now you have a Savion Williams, I feel better. Luke Lachey, sneaky tight end. He was out here in Ohio. I watched him play basketball out here he played in a couple of tournaments out here in Columbus. His dad played for Ohio State. He was offensive lineman and was damn good when Jim Lachey. Got really good size. He's a sneaky tight end. I liked him ever since high school. I like him at that pick. Yaya Black, another back-to-back Iowa. Big boy. Stuff the middle, man. That's what you need to do. Cody Simon, he had a good pro day. A lot of scouts were wondering if he was athletic enough. He tested well. He showed he could. Shiloh Sanders, we'll just see what that happens, but that can't hurt. Safety room is probably filled up, but you see he can't play some corners, so we like that. Taj Brooks, Texas Tech. That's another running back that you add, and he's more of a bell cow. He's had a lot of runs at Texas Tech. Wasn't like a guy was a super explosive, but he's a guy that you can give 20 carries in a game. And he's a guy that can catch the ball at the backfield too. Curtis Rote, I ain't really know too much about him, but he's a quarterback. We'll see. And then Jacob Gidden, I don't know too much about him, but that's another offensive lineman you add him in the room and see what happens. But overall, I like the draft, and I would give it if you're just looking from afar, I give this draft a good B.
I think it's a solid one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely think it's a solid one. All right, now next we have the Washington Commanders.
Damn it.
Who basically,
I like
robbed
this
us
draft. I
blind.
think it turned out very well. So what I learned from this draft, I think all of us can, we can talk about this moving forward. I like Emeka Egbuka. I liked him, and I think it's a good pick at 30. But I think the wide receiver class is deep because I've always thought, like, hey, if Luther Burden's there, if Emeka Buka is there at 29 or 30, Washington should get them. But as I saw, I was kind of chasing after edge. The rest of the draft and edge is a really important spot for us. But altogether, I think I got value, right? I think what I did is let the board talk to me and get BPA. Emeka Buka, BPA should be a top 15, top 20 pick. I'm at 30. I like that. I think it's going to fill out our wide receiver core. A wide receiver core of Terry McLaurin, Debo Samuel, Emeka Buka, that's solid for Jaden Daniels, especially with a strong offensive line, which goes to number 2, Cameron Williams. He's going to be put at right tackle, then we Tunsil at left tackle. We have a Pro Bowl right guard right next to Williams. We have a pretty solid rest of the offensive line. I think our offensive line will be solid there in protecting Jaden Daniels. Deanna Walker added to the rotation. We have Johnny Walker and not Johnny Walker, Johnny Newton, and we have Deron
name
Payne.
is in your head.
Yeah, it's in my head. I wonder if I have a glass right now. But basically, Johnny Newton and Deron Payne at defensive tackle. We throw in Deanna Walker in the rotation, keep the D line fresh. I don't mind that at all. Josiah Stewart's kind of a hustler. He's an undersized edge, but played for a big time program, big time games. He basically I like him. He's a high motor edge. We have edge depth, so he's kind of a rotational player as well. And then basically Dylan Sampson, dude, home run threat. I think he might even be legitimately the fastest running back in the draft. He might, if not, might be Tootin. But Sampson is a home run threat. He reminds me of Devon Achane a lot. So I think having him, Eckler, and Brian Robinson as a stable of running backs is legit. Like Dylan Sampson would be a perfect fit to our running back core because we have Brian Robinson that could take off 8, 9, 10 different reps. He could take some reps so Dylan Sampson won't get pounded on. Kind of put him in there for passing downs and, stretches and stuff like that, kind of like keep him light. Kyron Lacy is the controversial pick in my draft. He basically, I don't know if you guys know, but he was Jaden Daniels' wide receiver last year at LSU. We had 7 touchdowns, I believe, as a sophomore. Pretty legit wide receiver, 600 yards, 7 touchdowns. There is chemistry with Jaden. The problem, he was a slot. He basically was Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Kyron Lacy were the trio for Jaden Daniels in college. The trick with Lacy was that he got in a car accident, a speeding car accident, which was fatal. So I don't know where that's going to go with the whole court case. But I was like, you know what, I don't know if the Commanders will do it, but GM Carmi will do it. I'll take the risk to get him on my team. And then finally, Ventral Cypress, Florida State got a pretty good defense. So I'll take that. Going back to D and Twiz, Debo did not give birth yet. He's actually taking boxing classes now. He's looking in pretty good shape. I think Debo will be all right. I'll rock with it. Yeah, he brought some LBs, put on some LBs last year, but hopefully because he was injured, we'll see how he does this year.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he's just trash and he's
Hopefully
washed
not.
up.
So from afar, what would you just give your initial grade just by looking at it?
So it's what the thing is this, right? I think value, I'll probably give it a B plus. I mean, for real, we got a legit Emeka Buka is going to be he's going to be a wide receiver 2 for 10 years. He is Jackson Smith and Jigba. I basically added him to my team, which is legit. Cameron Williams, Deion Walker is going to fill out our offensive defensive line. I like that. The rest are kind of role players, and you want to get 3, 4. If you get 3 or 4 starters out of your draft class, it's a great draft class. I think Abuka is a starter. Williams could potentially be a starter. Sampson will play a lot. Josiah Stewart will play a lot. So the rest are kind of dart throws. So I'll give it a B plus. I mean, I wish the one thing that I neglected was I want a speed edge rusher. That's still going to be our problem moving forward. So there is a kind of a chink in the armor there.
But at least you got Kyron Lacy. You're building the whole prison team. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
I respect that. As the longest yard. It's going to be the longest yard. All right. So the Super Bowl Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. I know people don't love this draft. What did we learn?
I love it.
They hate it. And what did we learn? Never trade with George Carter. That's what I learned in this draft. I'm going to make my argument, though. Look, I love Siobhan Revel, and I think that he's the best cornerback in this draft. If he was healthy, I think that he would have been a top 10, top 15 guy. That's scary, and I understand for Eagles fans that that's scary. But I want to shout out Marina real quick. I want to shout out my homegirl Marina because she hates every draft that I do, and she hates Siobhan Revel. She said that he's going to be a backup. I don't know who he's going to back up. I don't want to move Cooper DeJean. I don't want, obviously you have Quinyon Mitchell out there, but I don't want Cooper DeJean having to move outside on base coverages. I think that you keep him as that weapon X, the guy that can kind of go the Swiss Army knife, the guy that can do a little bit of everything. You let him stay doing that. You put Siobhan Revel on the other side. You have size. You have a bunch of size now on the outside. Obviously, Quinyon's like 6'1", something like that. But Siobhan, I think, 6'2", I think he is. Yeah, so you're getting size. You're getting a premier player. And at 32, you're not going to have – it is what it is. It's a dart throw in the first round. You're hoping that you can get a guy that's a lot of people looked over. And I think this is a guy, if he falls that far, he's a guy a lot of people looked over. Josh Connerly, I would have gotten in the first round as well. I have no worry about them getting him in the first round. I understand he's going to have to sit a year. He's going to maybe have to sit 2 years. This Eagles team is built. And that's where I am mentally. I feel like this Eagles team is built. What you're doing now is you're trying to get the guys you want. We had Josh Connerly in for a top 30, Jaden Blue in for a top 30, Elijah Roberts in for a top 30. These are guys that the Eagles seem to have interest in. So I'm not picking 10 players like I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when you're trying to build a team. This team is built. So you're trying to get cheap and manageable contracts and players that can go in there and give you snaps. Siobhan Revel is going to give you snaps. Josh Connerly, whether it's a swing tackle or you're waiting, a year or something like that for him to finally take over Lane Johnson, he's going to do so at a very cheap rate. These are guys that make a lot of sense for the Eagles. Elijah Roberts, another guy that makes a lot of sense for the Eagles. He's going to bring kind of what you're losing in Milton Williams, maybe not at the exact same level. I don't think that they're that far off, but I think that if Aziz is healthy throughout this year, you have a really good defensive line. You have a really good Josh Uche. You have a lot of guys that can kind of move in on the outside, move in on the inside. I think Elijah Roberts brings that for you. Malachi Moore is a guy that I actually really like at safety. I don't know if they'll go with him. They've had a couple of safeties in already, but I think that his type of play is something that the Eagles would be interested in, somebody that can kind of do a little bit of everything. It's going to be interesting to see what they do because I know a lot of people like Sidney Brown, but he hasn't really shown anything. I think he's more of a special teams guy for us at this moment. But yeah, Malachi Moore, I think that he comes in, gives you competition. And again, that's the most important thing about these drafts is competition. You're looking for guys that are going to boost your roster, and you're looking for guys that are going to be cheap. That's it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we're going to trade up everything and go get Tyler Warren. Like, it's just not realistic for who the Eagles are right now. We don't have the money to go get top talent that we're going to have to pay in 4 years. We want guys that are going to stay on manageable contracts, and I think that they will. Jaden Blue, maybe a dart throw, but they had him in. He's got a little bit of speed. I think he ran like a 4.38, something like that. But again, just pass catcher. He's a guy that could do a little bit of everything. You want that in your building. Depending on what happens with A.J. Dillon, he might get more play. I think that he brings more pass catching prowess than a Will Shipley, than a Saquon Barkley right now. So that makes sense. Ted Buchanan, no idea who he is, but I am excited to read more about him and watch some of his film. And shout out to whoever, I forget who it was that told me to pick him, but I'm excited to see what happens with him. And shout out to Marina for actually agreeing with Jaden Blue. That is a monumental moment. So I like this draft. If I had to give it a grade, I would say a B plus.
Y'all
I would
today.
Siobhan,
B
Josh
plus.
Connerly, and Elijah Roberts. I think that those are three guys that are going to be on the team for the next 5-6 years. So I think that that's a win at the very least. I think
Joe,
5-6 years
honest
are gonna
assessment,
get
right? So looking at your draft right here, I like Revel. Like I told you guys, so I do a show as well. Fred Smoot, we were talking to him. He was saying Siobhan Revel is like, when healthy, top 3 cornerback in the class. I know you guys are kind of getting some crap for Revel. He's actually a pretty solid player, so I like that. Connerly, the second pick's pretty legit too. He could start at left tackle or right tackle. I don't mind that. And then I think Malachi Moore is a pretty good pick, and it's solid. I think it'll probably be a B. I don't know if I'll give it a B plus, but it's a solid pick, solid draft.
I think I'll take that. I'll take that. I just say B plus just because those are you might have a starter in Siobhan Revel. Like depending on what happens with that competition, I think that's a very real possibility. You have a starter, even if it's down the line in Josh Connerly, and we don't have a swing tackle. So to me, it just makes sense. It's not pretty. I know people aren't, they're looking for the Walter Nolans. They want, put whoever your favorite guy is, and Tyler. Everybody's saying who I should have picked, but I don't think this is that draft that you're looking for a guy that's going to be, Obviously, you always want to pick the best player you can, but the Eagles are kind of in a kind of weird spot that you have to pick players that are going to be affordable.
I love Marina, by the way. Marina's awesome. That's a great comment. She's lighting you up, Joe. It's hilarious. But she's good, though. I like it.
What'd she say? 3 top picks in top 100, and we got backup cornerback, a good OT.
She knows ball.
That will sit for 3 years.
She knows ball.
Yeah, she hates all my stuff. I don't agree, though. I really don't agree. I feel like swing tackle is very important. Fred Johnson went in there a lot of times for the Eagles. We've seen Jordan Mailata get banged up. Lane Johnson is not a spring chicken anymore. And Siobhan Revel's good. Who is he going to back up? I would love to know who he's going to back up outside of Cooper DeJean, because I just don't want to move Cooper DeJean. So, who's he going to back up? Eli Ricks, he's going to back up Kaylee Ringo, who everybody has this man crush on for absolutely no reason. I like Kaylee Ringo. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. He's 23 years old. The sky is the limit for Kaylee Ringo. Do I trust him to start this year? Off of what? Off of 30, 40 snaps last year? No, I don't. Bring in competition. If he beats Siobhan Revel, God bless him. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? If he could beat him, then he deserves that spot. But I'm not going to just say hand spots to these guys. We have a lot of young players, and it's time to figure it out. But, we'll continue the conversation on, see, people saying Ringo. Oh, for what? Anyways, we'll continue this conversation on Twitter. I'm going to post all of our drafts. Let us know what you guys think as far as grades, and just continue hating on me, I guess, on Twitter. I really don't care. And maybe next week it'll be a draft you like. Probably not. But how do you guys feel? I mean, we got what, 2-3 more Sundays until the draft. I mean, it's the nitty gritty, man. How y'all feeling? Anything y'all want to say before we get out of here? 375 people in here, so shout out to all of them. But yeah, y'all got anything y'all want to say to these people?
As always, I appreciate the chat. The feedback and the group chat. You guys are on point, hitting us up all the time. I like the fact that you're lighting up, Joe. I do appreciate that as well. Thank you. I feel like as a GM, I feel like I had a pretty good pick, so I got away with that a little bit over there. But no, this is the best time of year, man. March Madness, Final Four for me. I love basketball. I'm looking into the NFL draft. I want to start digging into edge more. I want to start digging into running back more. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I love doing these exercises with y'all because I get to hear about basically what you guys want, right? So walking away, it's clear tight end's a big need for you guys. I was surprised you picked Revel as a cornerback because you have Quinyon Mitchell and DeJean right there. But, I guess you are worried. You want some CB depth there too. So that's interesting. And it's funny listening to the Dallas fans in the chat. James, I'm surprised they don't want Ted McMillan. I thought he'd be someone you guys be fighting over at 12. So it's kind of interesting right there. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know how it is. Like I said, people listen to a video goes crazy, and then all of a sudden you ain't talking about it no more. Just a day ago, everybody's like, don't bet, don't let him go, don't let him go. Then you hear a video about him, how he's not gonna like him film. I don't know. I'm gonna just keep it real. I like my draft. Build in the trenches. I got I got an offensive guy and a defensive guy, and you can just get all the good stuff around that. You feel what I'm saying? Because we all know, if you have a great defensive line, a great offensive line, your running back ain't got to be that animal. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have those type of players. You love to have them, but that offensive line it hides a lot of those things for you, and it can carry. So offensive line for me, I liked it. Tyler Booker has been talked up a little bit, but the biggest thing with me in my head has been trade back. So I'm hoping the Cowboys, I'm hoping McMillan and Genty get taken, because I want to trade back. I want to get picks. I want to get another second rounder, and I want to see if we can pick up a fourth. Because I think we all agree, second, third, and fourth round are going to be a lot of good players. And that's where you really got to get them guys at that point. So trade back and get them picks, because Ted McMillan don't make or break the Cowboys, in my opinion, and neither does Genty. You feel them? I don't know about y'all, but This is.
I think you're
we
sleeping on
said it.
Genty though, James. I think he's legit, dude. I think Genty's
He
like
is. I didn't
Saquon.
say. I didn't say. I didn't
I
say.
think he's like legit. Like I think he's. I don't know, but go ahead. I think he's an immediate impact player. I think he's like a Bijan Robinson type. He's gonna walk in. He's gonna be like putting up 1,000
But here's
yards.
the thing:
catching
you
500
have a
yards.
back like that, but you have a line. If you don't get that line right,
That's true.
and you have a back
true.
like that, and your
Yeah.
line is in flux, he ain't doing all that he was doing. I don't care, Boise State. This the NFL now. You ain't. This ain't college players. This the NFL. So I don't know if you turning up like that without the offensive line, because when Ezekiel Elliott came in with that high pick, that offensive line was already good and established and ready to go. And that's why he hit the ground running as well, because the offensive line was top notch. Dallas don't have a top offensive line right now. So I just feel like other backs, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to watch that. We'll see, Genty. He has this special, because I keep on hearing he's going to just have this special career. He's just going to be special.
He's going to Raiders anyway.
I
Yeah.
think we see that every year. I feel like you get that every year. You have like that one running back that, oh, this is the guy. Then you have that one where,
Joe,
oh,
all I'm
this
going to
is the guy.
say is they had this comparison bust in CBS, and it said Trent Richardson. Y'all remember a lot of people saying he was the guy.
Yeah.
Here's the guy in UFL, right? He was killing it. He was killing it in XFL for a while. I mean, look, I think that this is going to be an interesting draft, but I think that you guys kind of proved my point of we're in different positions, and this is not no shade or anything to your teams. I think you guys are still building your team. You still figuring out what your core is. You know what I'm saying? Like who now, obviously you got your quarterback, you got your, good players, but you're trying to figure out who's my 7 to 8 guys on offense, my 7 to 8 guys on defense that are going to be with me for 10 years. The Eagles are kind of already there. They know who they want. They just need to build around that, get depth. So I think it's different philosophies when you go into the draft with that on your mind. So we'll see, you know what I'm saying? But I'm getting threatened. Twiz said that they love throwing batteries. So got to watch myself, you know what I'm saying, how he did get a Bud Light to the dome. So I ain't trying to get beat up on air, especially. But this was a fun one, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. We'll be back next week. But I will say this. I know you guys are a little bit worried about the draft that I did. Y'all talking out talk, saying, you're throwing batteries. Just remember what your boys got. Just remember what your boys got. And we've been right about a lot of these prospects over the past couple of years. And George knows his stuff. So I'm 100% sure he's going to be nailing some of these draft picks. And I'm excited to go back and
I was about
look
to
at some
say
of
we
these
should
guys
do a
and be like, see, we
retake
try
of
to
all
tell
the
you.
drafts that we kind of did and the players that we
Absolutely.
like, because I kind of started going back and seeing some of the players that we had talked about, and they're being successful. Of course, and not everybody, but a lot of people that we had talked about that could have been this are actually becoming players. So we should just actually sometime pull that up and kind of talk about that sometime.
If you guys are trying to do some enemy intel, look at Femi Oladeja from UCLA. I'm pretty sure he's going to become a Washington Commander. I think he's going to be like someone to select. And I was hoping to let him fall to me in the third round, but he was gone. Like he basically.
We had him on the
did
top
you really?
30 as
So
well.
I don't know if so Ken Norton is our linebacker coach. He was UCLA's linebacker coach back at UCLA. So he coached him. They liked him. They interviewed him. They met him at the combine. I think there's a lot of smoke there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So that'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully it's even more than 375. You guys are amazing. It's crazy how you guys be killing this chat every week. But yeah, we appreciate it. Can't say it enough. If you're on the YouTube side, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We have almost 200 of our watchers on Twitter, which we love it. We appreciate it so much. But if you could take the time, do a little HBO special, help a brother out, go on over to the YouTube side, like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to grow all of our families. So whoever you want to follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, definitely come on over. We welcome you with open arms. And maybe give us some help on who's a Giants content creator you would like to see, because we do want to bring somebody else on here and have a little fun with them because they suck. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to suck next year out of this draft, because they're going to take them. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what it's going to be. Got my guy, my brothers from another mother's. That's my guy, James. That's my guy, George. We are the best enemies. So, peace.